this video, we're going to focus on the auto design wizards. And these are located up here at the top where you kind of see the magic hat here. And if you click on it, it's going to drop down and you'll see that you have auto cross stitch wizard, auto photo stitch wizard, auto artwork wizard, and auto digitizing wizard. And each of these, kind of are similar in how they bring up a kind of a wizard that guides you through, but they do a different thing. Each of them do. So let's go ahead and just focus one at a time. Let's go to the auto cross stitch wizard, and I can go to select image, because you need to select an image on your computer that you're going to convert to cross stitch. And so I'm going to just take one of these images here, not one that custom create. Let's go ahead and choose one that's kind of more simplistic. When you're working with, cross stitch, I just find it is better when you work with a little bit simpler of shapes. So let's go ahead and choose let's see what this one will do right here, this cupcake, and hit open. So once I selected, you're going to see that it's going to tell you where it's grabbing it from. And now I'm going to choose next. And when I choose next, it's going to bring me up to the image transformation part. So in here, it's going to tell me the width and the height. Now I already know when I look at that 1.4 inches is very small. Okay, this is a tiny, tiny image. We need to modify that. Now it says inches right here because I'm in inches on my design page. So make sure that you change it to inches first, or else it's going to show up in millimeters here. Just something that I thought of right now. So we have 4 inches is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this 4 inches. Next, you can reset the size here by clicking this, and it's just going to take it back to the original size, just so you know. And I'll make this 4. Cross stitch, which is stitches per inch. I'm going to keep it at the default. Repeat, it's going to repeat each one twice. You can change that if you want. And right here, overlap, you can have it overlapping a little bit, which is kind of nice. If you really want it to overlap a little bit, you can do that. Transform will take you to your image editor that's on your computer. It's not part of the software, but you can click that and it will bring you into an image editor. You can transform it vertically, flip it vertically, horizontally, rotate it, and things like that. You can select all, and I do apologize. I said that would take you to the image editor. It's not. It's just going to allow you to rotate it. You'll see that go into image editor later. Sorry about that. Select an area to crop. This allows you to kind of crop an image. Like this one's going all the way to the edges, and this is how I want it. But if you brought in your own image, and there's a lot of white space around the design, you can use this to drag in and crop to select the area that you want. So if I wanted just this area, I could do that. I'm going to take this back out. I want it to actually be the full size here. And I'm going to hit next. And when I go to next, now it's going to show me the colors that are available. Let's say, I have this white around the edge, and that's included in here, but I don't necessarily want to have that color. And so I can select it and delete that color, and it's going to ignore it. So it won't create that as cross stitches. And I can reset it by clicking here, but you see I just select it and hit delete, and it changes it to 3 colors. So you really need to work with simple images. You can't have something that's really complicated because it needs to have a good area to work with, and you want to keep the number of colors down. So I can hit preview here, and you can see that it doesn't really show a whole lot there for you, but let's go to next. And in the next, this is where you can see it's kind of having that little issue. If I come back to here and hit preview, notice how the preview is better. I must need to keep that white there. Let's go ahead and hit next. Now you can see that you have this grid here. It's kind of showing you where the cross stitches are going to fit within that grid. And you can see how it's going to create this. And you can edit image here. This is where I was talking about before. If you needed to edit it, you could click that and it will take you to the editor that you have on your computer. So a background color right here, fill with stitches. If I click that, it'll fill it with stitches. It's already showing white as the color it sees as the background. So if I want the white to actually be used with cross stitch, I can select that and it will actually do that as a color. So let's go to next because I don't want it to do the white. And it's showing me now. Okay, we have the background, we have the 3 different shades here, and you can see what it's kind of doing here to these lines. They're not as straightforward as they were. They were longer, and it's kind of cut them up because it can only work with so much detail. So I can select all or not. I can uncheck it, do it individually. It says select the colors you want to apply outlines. Okay, so what that means is if I select a color, it's going to do an outline around it. So I might want to do an outline around, the pink and, this color right here. If I do the orange, it's going to do it around these little pieces, which I wouldn't want to do. So I just want to show you what this will look like. So let's go ahead and select this pink and this color right here and go to next. So now it's kind of showing what it's going to produce. I'm going to hit finish and it's going to bring it up on the screen. If I hit 3D view, you can kind of see it. We are working with kind of light colors. Let me go ahead and change this background a little bit. You can see that I have it kind of combined these colors together, which is kind of odd. I'm not sure why it did that. But if I come down here, you can see I have the ability to select that area and I could change the color. So it's not really a big deal that it did that. But it is kind of odd that it did that. Let's come over here. It was kind of an orange color. So we'll just change that to an orange. And these are brought in as stitches, as you can see here. So there's not a whole lot of editing that you can do to them. This is the outline. So I had it go and do an outline around this top piece and this one right here. If I change that to a dark color, you'll see them show up. So that's how it will outline if you need it to outline it. And I chose not to outline the orange here, but you can see because I outlined this object, it put an outline on this edge, and I chose to outline this color here, so it put an outline there, and it also put an outline around these orange pieces. So it's just something to keep in mind. If I do a slow redraw here, you can see how it's created. So there's not a lot of editing that you can do here. You can play around with the cross stitch, auto cross stitch. It's available. There's not a whole lot of things to tweak with it, just so you know. But you can play around with it and see if you can get the results that you want to get from it. So in the next video, we'll work on the photo stitch wizard, and so we'll see you in that one.